Hello. What's going on, everybody? We're gonna... Oop. The wrong thing here. We are going to read some more Chaos Head Noah tonight. We had a really long scene that we went through last time I streamed this. Basically, it was just Takumi hanging out with Sena and Kozupii, or Kozue, whatever you want to call her. During this hangout, I guess, Sena gave Takumi a pretty technical, scientific, I guess, explanation of how the D-swords work. And Kozupii has left, so right now it's just Sena and Takumi. But Sena is currently going through, I guess, like a flashback to, I guess, Kazue's childhood, I suppose, her past. So that's where we left off here. Kozue had always had the strange ability to read other people's minds. She'd managed with great effort to come to terms with her power and hide it from other people, and lead something of a normal life. Then the mirrors appeared. Hold on a sec, let me wipe my glasses here. Get dirty. Okay. After she started high school, Kozue started seeing mirrors everywhere. At first, she thought it was just a coincidence. It only happened maybe twice a day. But then, as time passed, it happened more and more. She would run into people holding mirrors more than 10 times a day. The encounters themselves were nothing special. A person on the street would be holding a mirror. A classmate would be doing their makeup in the bathroom. But whether it was coincidence or deliberate, it always seemed to end up that she'd see her reflection in them. And eventually, the ones with the mirrors, both men and women, would start to laugh. They'd say in their minds, "Who are you?" Wait, is this somehow related to whose eyes are those? In the classroom, at school, on trains, when she was out shopping, she'd see them everywhere she went. It wasn't any one person. In fact, it was a different person each time. But Kozue became suspicious of everyone holding a mirror, and became suspicious of everyone who was laughing. It wasn't long after that when people who weren't holding mirrors seemed to be saying, "Who are you?" She was on the verge of having a breakdown as the voices of their minds echoed in her ears again and again. One day, Kozue looked at herself in the mirror and whispered. The moment she spoke, she was terrified that she might soon no longer know who she was. There was a girl on the other side of the mirror with the same face as her, speaking back,
お前は誰?
that's when she stopped speaking. She stopped being able to look at mirrors, too. But the voices asking, "Who are you?" didn't go away. She couldn't even tell whose voices they were anymore. She was like a broken fax machine that couldn't refuse incoming calls. Her power made sure that she heard others' voices, whether she wanted to or not. There was nothing she could do. Kozue's mind was falling apart. Then one day, in her second year of high school, she was staying late cleaning up. 3 of her classmates were whispering to each other as they did their makeup, mirrors in hand. Mirrors and laughter. And then the voices asking, "Who are you?" whether it was the voices of her 3 classmates' minds or just a hallucination. It didn't even matter anymore. As she trembled in fear, she saw herself reflected in the mirrors. Her vision went dark for a moment. Was it deliberate or chance? It didn't even matter anymore. Her mind had been under so much pressure for a year that it finally snapped. The next thing she knew, she was screaming, and a murderous instinct had overcome her. She saw the D-sword in the corner of her eye, and for the first time, she grabbed it. And then, she attacked them. All 3 had their mirrors in their right hands, and within a second, she'd used her real-booted D-sword to slice their hands off. Wow. So wait, is that what she's referring to when she says the bad guys are these people holding mirrors? Like, bro, so she's just fucking murdering people for no reason? Like, how has she not, like, been thrown in jail yet? Bro, what the fuck? According to my schedule, today wasn't a school day, but I'd come anyway for one reason: to see Rimi. I was sure my DQN classmates would be making fun of me again. It hurt, but I'd be willing to put up with it if it meant possibly seeing Rimi. As I walked through the school gate, I remembered my conversation with Sena yesterday. Before we'd parted ways, Sena said one last thing to me.
お前が望むと望まないとに関わらず、もしこれ以上踏み込んでくるようなら、負を正にするぐらいの強い意識を持つんだな。中途半端な気持ちじゃ、妄想に食われるだけだぞ。
I didn't want to get involved with anything dangerous, so I didn't ask anything more. I knew I wasn't going to get the D-sword anyway, no matter how hard I tried. I wasn't a hero. I was just a loser who couldn't even protect his own little sister. But there was a chance that Shogun would come back. He seemed to be coming after me as part of some sort of game, which meant the next quest might start whenever he felt like it. That scared me. The only reason I'd wanted a D-sword in the first place was because I was so scared of him. How was I supposed to protect myself from him without the sword? Hello, Kat. How are you doing? Have Remy stay with me? But Remy wasn't coming to school, and that worried me. What if he took Remy hostage like he did Nanami? Wasn't there anybody who could help me? It would have to be somebody who had a D-sword. Ayase was injured, so she was out of the question. And there was no way Sena was going to help me. Wait, why is he saying that? And Kozupii was a little, no, very strange. I entered the classroom with my head down. I took a single look around the room before I sat down. First at Remy's seat. Empty. Was she absent again today? Was she really just not coming to school? Or was something more going on? I wanted to see her again, to see her cheerful face once more. Next, Kozupii. She was sitting in her seat, looking down, making herself as small as possible. I remember what Sena had said yesterday, which more than explained why she acted that way. Morning, Kozupii. We didn't look at each other, but we exchanged greetings in our mind. The DQN girls were grinning at me. Still playing, Noah? Okay, Kat, you have to understand. This is a visual novel, which means it's gonna take quite a while before we get to the end of this thing. Because a visual novel has like multiple story routes typically that you can read through, and I always read through all the different character routes and stuff. So I mean, just the last visual novel I did, I was reading through it for close to a year. So I mean, I don't know if this one's gonna take us that long, but yeah, I mean, this is gonna take at least several months. Past halfway, I really don't think so. No. Because, I mean, I haven't completed a single route yet, so there's no way I'm halfway through this thing already. So, yeah, I mean, it'll be at least several months from now before this visual novel's finished. But, I mean, you know, I typically have at least 2 different games or whatever that I stream at a time. So obviously right now I'm doing God of War along with this. So it had only been a day. The label of creepy loser otaku who made a mess on TV wasn't coming off that quickly. The DQN boys evidently weren't here yet. Those guys would often skip first period. That was more than fine by me. I sat down, and then I heard her voice as it called my name. Wait, that's not Rimi, is it? Oh, it is. I gasped and looked up. Rimi was standing in front of me. She gave me a little grin and a wave. Yeah, but this whole friendship she's carrying on with Takumi is a complete lie, as we found out from the last scene where she was with Shogun. So, I don't know. I have a feeling any interaction between Takumi and Rimi from this point on is just gonna piss me off, but anyway.
Rimi.
I wasn't imagining her. She was really here. She was breathing. Her hair bounced gently as she moved. She blinked every so often. She was really here. She was here. I felt the need to sniffle coming on. My heart felt like someone was squeezing on it hard. I felt like I was about to cry. I lifted myself up out of my chair, but then stopped, unable to move. I'm so glad I got to see you again.
ちょっとタク、どうしたの？もしかして泣いてるの？
I shook my head as hard as I could. If my DQN classmates saw me crying, they'd make fun of me again. I told myself that I couldn't cry, but the tears just kept coming.
わかった。私に再会できて嬉しいんだ。そうでしょ。なんてね。ちょっと自意識過剰だったかな。
All I could do was keep shaking my head. I couldn't even look up at her. If I did, I'd start sobbing right on the spot. Then someone slapped me on the back.
Oh, Taku.
It was Misumi, with an awkward expression on his face. He hadn't slapped me near as hard as he used to. Just yesterday, he'd been ignoring me. Why was he talking to me again? If he did, it would ruin his life. The DQNs in the class would bully him. That's right. Both Rimi and Misumi would be better off if they didn't talk to me at all. When I didn't respond, Misumi forced a smile onto his face.
暗いな。朝から新規臭いぜ。ま、お前はそういうやつだって分かってるけどな。
He was being as rude as ever, but it didn't feel like he was being mean. That was just how he always talked.
そういう大臣は朝から無駄に爽やかだね。
無駄にとか言うな。久々に学校来たと思ったらいきなりそれか。
じゃあ嘘くさい爽やかさ。
なたく、この言い草どう思うよ。
I gave him a vague nod. I'd managed, somehow, to stop the tears. Life was back to normal, at least in terms of what was in front of me right now. The two of them didn't seem to be bothered at all by the fact that they might end up bullied by the rest of the class.
そういえば岸本のことを聞いたか。まだ入院中らしいぜ。怪我は大したことなかったんだけど、精神的にかなり参ってるらしい。いいか、タク。女を落とすのに一番手っ取り早いのは、弱ってる時に優しくしてやることだ。
Yeah, but that's also the worst time to to try and get intimate and emotional with a girl too, because like, yeah.
というわけで俺、本気で岸本の見舞いに行こうかなと思ってんだよね。
大地最低。ブーブー。今度こそ彼女さんに刺されるよ。
お見舞いに行くだけだろ。別にやましいことじゃねえよ。
ほんの数秒前と言ってることが違うし。
そういえばタクって岸本と知り合いだったよな。な、一緒に行ってくんね。
That sounded like something Misumi would usually say. I was sure he was going to ask me about my supposed psychic powers, so I was actually kind of surprised. He kept talking a while after that. Misumi would talk, and sometimes Rimi would make smart comments, and I'd just kind of nod along. It was the same as it had been before. And that made me happy. Alright, well, I know this is gonna wind up being a really short stream, but I think I'm actually gonna stop here tonight. Yeah. I shouldn't have started streaming this late. I should have got on here earlier, but anyway, I will be back tomorrow, and we'll do God of War Ragnarok. So, thanks for watching, and have a good night.